You want access to powerful rooms, powerful minds, and powerful opportunities? Understand this first. Millionaires and billionaires are not impressed by desire, they are impressed by direction. They don't ask, "What do you want?" They ask, "What can you build?" The greatest mistake people make is trying to approach wealth from a position of need. Need repels power. Value attracts it. Wealthy individuals move strategically, not emotionally. They are builders, not beggars. If you want to stand beside them, you must first rise to their level of thinking. Everything begins with clarity of purpose. When your vision is vague, your presence is weak. Powerful people recognize certainty instantly. They can hear it in your voice, see it in your posture, and feel it in your decisions. If you are unsure of where you're going, they will never trust you to walk beside them. Next, you must master self-discipline. Wealth is attracted to structure. Millionaires and billionaires live by systems, routines, and principles. They respect individuals who act without being pushed, who execute without being reminded, and who deliver without excuses. Discipline is the language of credibility. Understand this truth. Connections do not create success, competence does. Strategic partnerships are formed when your skill set solves a problem, accelerates a vision, or multiplies results. If you bring nothing measurable to the table, no title, no confidence, no speech will save you. Results speak louder than introductions. Another critical law is mental alignment. Wealthy individuals think in decades, not days. They invest in people who can delay gratification, stay calm under pressure, and make decisions rooted in logic, not impulse. Emotional volatility destroys trust. Strategic calm builds it. You must also develop the habit of listening deeply. Powerful people reveal everything in how they speak, what they value, what they fear, what they pursue. When you listen without trying to impress, you gain insight. Insight creates relevance. Relevance creates partnership. Never underestimate the power of reputation. Before you enter the room, your name arrives first. Your consistency, integrity, and reliability are silently evaluated. One broken promise can erase years of effort. One delivered result can open doors money cannot buy. To partner with the powerful, you must think in terms of mutual elevation. Ask yourself, how does this alliance grow both visions? How does it protect time, multiply energy, and expand reach? Strategic minds don't chase transactions, they build ecosystems. There is also a law of personal growth you must obey. You cannot remain mentally small and expect to walk with giants. Read more than you speak. Learn faster than you earn. Strengthen your mind daily. Wealth respects those who invest in themselves relentlessly. And finally, understand this. Strategic partnerships are not rushed. They are earned. Trust is built through repeated proof. Respect is built through consistent execution. Power is built through patience combined with action. When you stop chasing wealthy people and start becoming valuable, they will find you. When your purpose is sharp, your discipline unshakable, and your results undeniable, doors open naturally. Build yourself first. Sharpen your mind. Deliver real value. That is how you don't just meet millionaires and billionaires. That is how you stand beside them as an equal. Wealthy minds move by value, not emotion. Bring leverage, not need. That single principle separates those who circle power from those who enter it. The wealthy are not cold, they are precise. They have learned through experience and loss that emotion clouds judgment and need weakens position. When you approach power from desperation, you signal risk. When you approach from value, you signal opportunity. Power recognizes its own language instantly. Value is not what you say you have. Value is what you can demo, demonstrate, deliver, and defend under pressure. Leverage is the ability to improve outcomes without increasing effort. Wealthy minds are always asking one silent question: does this person reduce friction or create it? If your presence complicates progress, you are dismissed without explanation. If your presence accelerates results, you are remembered without effort. Emotion seeks validation. Value seeks results. One asks for approval, the other earns respect. Wealth does not respond to enthusiasm alone, it responds to competence, sharpened by discipline. You cannot negotiate your way into relevance. You must build it long before the conversation begins. By the time you speak, your preparation should already have answered every objection. Need is loud, it rushes, it over-explains, it promises what it cannot guarantee. Leverage is quiet, it listens, it waits, it delivers exactly what was agreed upon and nothing less. Those who operate from leverage never chase attention. Attention comes to them because results leave a trail. Wealthy thinkers measure time more carefully than money. They will invest capital if it saves focus, energy, or years of trial and error. When you bring leverage, you bring time back into their control. That is priceless. When you bring need, you demand time, reassurance, and emotional labor. That is expensive. To build leverage, you must first master yourself, your habits, your schedule, your emotions, your follow-through. Inconsistent people cannot create consistent value. If you disappear when it's inconvenient, your value collapses. If you show up only when motivated, you are predictable in the worst way. Discipline creates trust, and trust is the foundation of every powerful alliance. Wealthy minds also recognize patterns quickly. They can tell when someone is playing a short game. Short-term thinkers focus on immediate gain, quick recognition, and surface-level wins. Strategic thinkers focus on durability. They ask how something performs over time, under stress, and during uncertainty. If you cannot articulate long-term impact, you are not speaking their language. Leverage often comes from specialization. The narrower and deeper your skill, the harder you are to replace. General ambition is common. Rare capability is not. When your skill solves a specific, expensive problem, you no longer need permission to be in the room. Your work speaks before you do. Another form of leverage is perspective. Many people have information, few have insight. Insight comes from synthesis, experience, and reflection. When you can see what others miss, connect what others separate, and simplify what others complicate, your presence becomes strategic. Wealth respects clarity because clarity reduces risk. Emotional control is also leverage. In high-stakes environments, pressure is constant. Those who react emotionally expose instability. Those who remain calm project strength. Calm decision-making in chaos is a rare asset. It signals leadership without needing authority. People trust those who are not ruled by impulse. Value compounds when combined with integrity. Wealthy minds do not fear mistakes, they fear unreliability. One honest error handled responsibly builds more trust than 10 perfect performances followed by one excuse. Integrity creates predictability, and predictability creates safety. Safety is essential for long-term partnerships. Leverage also grows through contribution before extraction. The most powerful relationships are built when you give without immediately asking, not giving time blindly, but giving relevance, insight, and support where it matters. When your contribution improves outcomes, your position strengthens naturally. Influence earned this way cannot be revoked easily. Another critical element is alignment. Wealthy individuals protect their vision fiercely. If your goals conflict with theirs, no amount of talent will secure the relationship. When your objectives reinforce their directio, collaboration becomes logical. Alignment reduces friction, and reduced friction increases momentum. You must also understand that leverage is dynamic. What made you valuable yesterday may be average tomorrow. Continuous learning is not optional. Stagnation is invisible at first and fatal later. Wealthy minds invest in growth because they know decay is automatic. If you are not intentionally upgrading, you are silently falling behind. Communication itself becomes leverage when mastered. Clear, concise, and intentional speech signals respect for time. Rambling signals uncertainty. Precision signals preparation. The ability to express complex ideas simply is rare and powerful. It allows decisions to be made faster and with confidence. Finally, understand that value is not self-declared. It is confirmed by outcomes. Leverage is not claimed, it is recognized. When you focus relentlessly on becoming useful at a high level, need dissolves. When need dissolves, confidence stabilizes. When confidence stabilizes, doors open without force. Wealthy minds move by value, not emotion. Bring leverage, not need. Millionaires listen for clarity of purpose, not empty ambition. They have heard ambition in every accent, from every background, delivered with passion, volume, and confidence. Ambition alone does not move them because ambition is common and often untested. Purpose, on the other hand, is rare. Purpose has direction, structure, and intent. It reveals not just what you want, but why you move, how you decide, and where you are going when pressure arrives. Clarity of purpose is immediately recognizable. It shows in the way a person speaks without exaggeration, in the way they explain their goals without confusion, and in the way their actions align with their words. Millionaires do not need long explanations. They sense alignment quickly. When someone knows exactly what they are building, they do not chase approval. They speak with calm certainty, and that certainty creates gravity. Empty ambition is loud. It talks about outcomes without understanding process. It focuses on rewards without respecting responsibility. It wants association before contribution. Purpose does the opposite. Purpose is disciplined. It understands sequence. It knows that results are earned step by step, not declared in advance. Wealth respects those who honor process, because process is what produces repeatable success. Millionaires think in terms of execution. They pay attention to how a person translates ideas into action. Clarity of purpose creates consistent behavior. When decisions align over time, trust forms naturally. When actions contradict words, ambition is exposed as fantasy. Wealthy minds are trained to detect this gap quickly, because trusting the wrong person is costly. Purpose also reveals emotional maturity. Someone with clear purpose is not easily shaken by delays or criticism. They are anchored. They understand that progress is uneven, and resistance is part of growth. This emotional steadiness signals reliability. Millionaires prefer working with individuals who can absorb pressure without losing direction. Another sign of purpose is selectivity. Purposeful people do not chase everything. They say no more than they say yes. They protect their time, energy, and focus. This discipline signals self-respect. Wealth respects self-respect because it indicates boundaries, and boundaries protect outcomes. Ambition often seeks validation. Purpose seeks impact. One wants recognition, the other wants results. Millionaires are drawn to people who measure success by progress, not applause. Applause fades quickly. Progress compounds. Those who understand this are building something real, not performing for attention. Clarity of purpose also sharpens communication. When someone knows where they are going, they speak with precision. They do not hide behind buzzwords or vague promises. They explain their vision in concrete terms. This reduces uncertainty. And reduced uncertainty lowers risk. Wealth always moves toward reduced risk. Purpose shapes learning. A person with clear direction does not collect random information. They acquire knowledge strategically. Every skill they build supports their long-term objective. This intentional growth signals seriousness. Millionaires invest in people who invest in themselves with focus. Consistency is another signal. Purpose produces rhythm. It shows up in daily habits, long-term commitment, and steady improvement. Anyone can perform once. Few can perform repeatedly. Wealthy minds look for patterns, not moments. Patterns reveal character. Clarity of purpose also determines how someone handles power. When given responsibility, purposeful individuals do not become reckless or arrogant. They become more disciplined. They understand that power amplifies character. This awareness builds confidence in their leadership potential. Purpose creates patience. Millionaires understand that real wealth is built over time. They resonate with people who are willing to grow slowly but correctly. Rushed ambition often leads to shortcuts. Purpose avoids shortcuts because it understands consequences. When purpose is clear, collaboration becomes easier. Goals align, expectations are understood, and roles are defined. This reduces friction. Reduced friction increases momentum. Wealth flows where momentum is protected. Millionaires listen for clarity of purpose because it reveals who is prepared for long-term partnership. Not someone chasing opportunity, but someone creating direction. Not someone impressed by wealth, but someone grounded in vision. Not someone asking to be chosen, but someone already committed to building something worth choosing. Billionaires align only with those who think long-term and act decisively. They have no interest in hesitation disguised as caution or endless analysis mistaken for intelligence. At that level, time is the most protected asset, and uncertainty is the most expensive cost. They look for individuals who can see beyond the immediate moment and still move with precision when the moment demands action. Long-term thinking is not about dreaming far ahead without structure. It is about understanding consequences. Every decision creates a chain reaction, and billionaires are obsessed with second and third-order effects. They ask how today's move shapes tomorrow's position, how short-term gain might damage long-term trust, and how consistency compounds over years. If someone cannot articulate the future impact of their choices, they are not operating at that level. Decisive action is the partner of vision. Thinking far ahead without action is fantasy. Acting fast without foresight is recklessness. Billionaires respect those who can balance both. They want people who gather enough information to decide, then commit fully without looking back. Indecision signals fear. Fear signals fragility. Fragility has no place in high-stakes environments. Long-term thinkers do not react emotionally to temporary setbacks. They interpret obstacles as data, not defeat. This mindset creates resilience. Billionaires trust resilience because they know volatility is inevitable. Markets shift, people fail, and conditions change. The only reliable advantage is the ability to adapt without losing direction. Decisive people are easy to work with. They communicate clearly, set firm expectations, and follow through. They do not delay progress with endless reconsideration. When they say yes, it means something. When they say no, it is final. This clarity saves time and protects momentum. Wealth moves toward momentum. Billionaires also understand that speed is a form of leverage. Not reckless speed, but prepared speed. When opportunity appears, they act while others hesitate. They value partners who can move at that pace without panic. Slow decision makers create bottlenecks. Bottlenecks kill growth. Long-term alignment also requires patience. Those who think ahead are not distracted by short-term noise. They do not chase every trend or abandon strategy at the first sign of resistance. They understand that mastery and scale take time. This patience builds stability, and stability attracts capital. Decisiveness reveals confidence rooted in preparation. It does not come from arrogance. It comes from clarity. When someone has done the work, studied the field, and understood the risks, action becomes natural. Billionaires can sense the difference between forced confidence and earned certainty. Strategic alignment is also about values. Long-term thinkers care about reputation, legacy, and trust. They know that one careless decision can destroy years of progress. They choose partners who protect the mission even when no one is watching. Integrity over time is a powerful signal. Decisive action also means accountability. When things go wrong, decisive people do not hide. They adjust, they take responsibility and correct course quickly. This ability to recover fast is more valuable than avoiding mistakes altogether. Billionaires prefer partners who can handle failure intelligently. Another key trait is focus. Long-term thinkers eliminate distractions. They do not spread energy thin. They commit deeply to fewer priorities and execute relentlessly. Focus creates excellence. Excellence creates influence. Billionaires align with people who can operate independently. Constant reassurance and supervision waste resources. Self-directed individuals who can make strong decisions without approval free up mental space. That freedom is priceless. Alignment at this level is rare because it requires discipline, courage, and patience at the same time. Most people lean toward one and neglect the others. Billionaires seek the balance. They choose partners who can hold vision steady while moving decisively through uncertainty. Billionaires align only with those who think long-term and act decisively. Your reputation speaks before your voice. Build it in silence. Long before you enter any room, decisions are already being made about you. Long before you introduce yourself, your pattern of behavior has already introduced you. Reputation is not built in moments of visibility. It is built in seasons of discipline when no one is watching and no applause is coming. Silence is where credibility is forged. Loud ambition attracts attention, but quiet execution earns respect. Those who understand power know that constant self-promotion weakens perception. Results do not need explanations. When your work consistently delivers, others speak for you without being asked. That is influence that cannot be forced. Reputation is the sum of small actions repeated over time. One promise kept, one deadline honored, one standard upheld when cutting corners would be easier. These moments seem insignificant in isolation, yet they accumulate into trust. Trust is the rarest currency in any high-level environment. Once earned, it opens doors that skill alone cannot unlock. Silence also protects focus. When you stop announcing plans and start executing them, energy is conserved. Many people mistake visibility for progress. True builders know progress happens in obscurity. The mind becomes sharper when it is not distracted by validation. Growth accelerates when attention is directed inward toward mastery. Those who build in silence are difficult to manipulate. They are not driven by praise or discouraged by criticism. Their motivation is internal and stable. This emotional independence signals strength. Powerful people notice it immediately because they understand how rare it is. Reputation is tested under pressure. When challenges arise, character is revealed. Do you remain consistent when circumstances shift? Do you honor commitments when outcomes are uncertain? Silence in these moments is not avoidance, it is composure. Composure builds confidence in others. Consistency is louder than claims. Any One can speak about integrity, excellence, or vision. Few can live it daily. Reputation forms when words and actions align repeatedly. When there is no gap between what you say and what you do, your presence becomes reliable. Reliability creates safety. Safety attracts opportunity. Silence also teaches patience. Recognition delayed is often recognition multiplied. Those who rush exposure often expose weakness. Those who wait until they are ready arrive with strength. Preparation done quietly creates impact that feels sudden to outsiders, but was earned over time. Reputation is also shaped by how you treat people who cannot benefit you. Courtesy without advantage reveals true character. Disrespect in private eventually becomes public. Nothing escapes pattern. Those who understand this choose discipline even when there is no immediate reward. In silent work, skills deepen. Knowledge becomes applied. Judgment improves. When you finally speak, your words carry weight because they are backed by experience. Authority is not declared, it is granted by results. Silence sharpens observation. You learn more when you listen than when you speak. You notice dynamics, motivations, and weaknesses others miss. This awareness increases strategic value. People trust those who understand situations fully before acting. Reputation is fragile. Years of effort can be undone by one careless moment. This awareness creates humility. Humility protects learning. Learning protects relevance. Those who remain relevant over time do so by respecting the power of restraint. Building in silence also filters relationships. Those attracted only to noise drift away. Those who value substance remain. This alignment strengthens long-term growth. Quality connections form around consistent action, not constant talk. When opportunity arrives, reputation determines access, not talent alone, not intention alone. Reputation answers the unspoken question of risk. It tells others whether aligning with you strengthens or endangers their position. Your reputation speaks before your voice. Build it in silence. Strategic partnerships are born from competence, not connections. Access may open a door, but ability decides whether you are invited to stay. At the highest levels, relationships are not favors. They are calculated alignments built on trust, performance, and reliability. Names and introductions create opportunities, but only competence converts them into lasting alliances. Competence signals safety. When someone demonstrates mastery of their craft, they reduce uncertainty. Strategic minds are constantly evaluating risk, and nothing lowers risk faster than proven ability. A competent partner does not need supervision, reassurance, or constant correction. They execute with precision and adapt intelligently. When conditions change, connections without competence collapse under pressure. They rely on proximity rather than performance. When challenges arise, weak foundations are exposed. Strategic partnerships endure stress because both sides bring value that holds up in real conditions. That value is measurable, repeatable, and dependable. Competence is built through preparation, discipline, and experience. It shows in how problems are approached, how decisions are justified, and how outcomes are delivered. Strategic thinkers pay attention to patterns. One success may be luck. Consistent success is competence. True competence also includes judgment. Knowing what not to do is as important as knowing what to do. Strategic partners respect restraint. Reckless action creates volatility. Disciplined decision-making creates stability. Stability attracts collaboration. Competence earns respect without demanding it. It does not seek validation or rely on titles. It speaks through results. When someone consistently improves outcomes, others naturally want to align. This attraction is organic and powerful. Connections often fade when circumstances change. Competence add. Markets shift, technologies evolve, and priorities change. Those who rely on skill rather than access remain relevant. Strategic partnerships favor those who can evolve without losing effectiveness. Competence also builds credibility in communication. When you understand your field deeply, your words are clear and precise. You do not exaggerate or overpromise. This honesty builds trust. Trust is the foundation of every strategic alliance. Another mark of competence is accountability. When mistakes occur, competent individuals take responsibility and correct course quickly. They do not deflect blame or hide behind excuses. This reliability under pressure strengthens partnerships. Competence compounds over time. Each challenge overcome adds depth. Each lesson learned sharpens insight. Strategic partners value this accumulated wisdom because it reduces learning curves and prevents costly errors connections may introduce you to power, but competence makes you valuable to it. Strategic partnerships form when both sides recognize mutual benefit grounded in capability. This recognition creates balance. Balance sustains long-term collaboration. Competence also influences reputation. People talk about those who deliver. Recommendations carry weight when they are backed by performance. This reputation travels faster and farther than any networking effort. Strategic partnerships require trust in execution. Knowing that commitments will be honored without constant oversight frees mental space. Competence provides that assurance. It allows focus to remain on growth rather than damage control. Competence is built quietly. It does not announce itself prematurely. It prepares thoroughly and delivers consistently. When the moment arrives, it stands firm. Strategic partnerships are born from competence, not connections. Wealth respects discipline, consistency, and results above all. It does not respond to talent alone, and it ignores potential that is never expressed through action. At high levels of success, excuses are invisible and effort is irrelevant unless it produces outcomes. What matters is what gets done, how often it gets done, and whether it can be done again under pressure. Discipline is the foundation. It is the ability to act without emotion, to execute without motivation, and to stay aligned with purpose even when comfort calls louder. Wealth recognizes discipline because discipline creates predictability. Predictability reduces risk. People who operate with discipline can be trusted with responsibility because their behavior does not fluctuate with mood or circumstance. Consistency transforms discipline into credibility. One strong performance can be coincidence. Repeated performance is character. Wealthy minds observe patterns over time. They watch how often you show up, how reliably you deliver, and how you respond when conditions are not ideal. Consistency proves that success is not accidental. Results are the final filter. Conversations, intentions, and plans all dissolve when measured against outcomes. Results are objective. They cannot be negotiated or reinterpreted. They either exist or they do not. Wealth respects results because results create leverage, momentum, and confidence. Discipline keeps you moving when progress feels slow. Consistency keeps you relevant when attention shifts elsewhere. Results keep you valuable when competition increases. These three qualities form a system. Remove one, and the system collapses. Wealth is built through routine, not inspiration. The people who achieve at high levels do not wait for perfect conditions. They operate through structure. Their days are designed, their habits are intentional, their standards are enforced without exception. This level of self-management signals readiness for greater responsibility. Consistency also builds trust with time. When others know what to expect from you, collaboration becomes easier. Trust reduces friction. Reduced frict. Ion increases speed. Speed creates advantage. Wealth flows toward environments where execution is smooth and reliable. Results reveal learning. Every outcome reflects decisions made earlier. Those who study their results improve faster. They adjust strategy, refine methods, and eliminate inefficiency. This feedback loop accelerates growth. Wealth rewards those who can learn quickly without repeating the same mistakes. Discipline also shapes emotional control. High-pressure environments demand calm decision-making. Those who remain steady when stakes rise are trusted. Emotional volatility introduces risk. Discipline eliminates it. Consistency protects reputation. When standards are maintained regardless of circumstances, credibility strengthens. People remember reliability more than brilliance. Reliability becomes a personal brand that attracts opportunity. Results compound when discipline and consistency align. Small improvements repeated over time create exponential growth. Wealth understands compounding deeply. It favors those who think in systems rather than isolated wins. Those who lack discipline rely on bursts of effort. Those who lack consistency rely on luck. Those who lack results rely on explanations. None of these sustains success. Wealth filters them out quickly. Discipline also requires sacrifice. Comfort is traded for progress. Distractions are replaced with focus. Short-term pleasure is exchanged for long-term position. Wealth respects this trade because it mirrors its own logic. Consistency requires patience. Progress is rarely linear. There are plateaus, setbacks, and delays. Those who remain steady through these phases prove commitment. Wealth aligns with commitment because it signals durability. Results create authority. When outcomes speak, words become unnecessary. Authority earned this way cannot be challenged easily. It is grounded in evidence. Wealth respects discipline, consistency, and results above all. To stand with giants, you must outgrow small talk and small thinking. Power operates on depth, not noise. Those who move at the highest levels do not waste time on conversations that lead nowhere or ideas that collapse under scrutiny. They speak with intention, and they think with scale. If your words are shallow, your mind is exposed. If your thinking is narrow, your ceiling is fixed. Small talk is safe, but it is also limiting. It avoids risk, avoids responsibility, and avoids truth. Giants do not avoid truth. They confront it directly because clarity accelerates progress. When conversation lacks substance, it signals a lack of preparation. Preparation is respect. Without it, presence becomes irrelevant. Small thinking focuses on comfort. It seeks approval instead of impact. It asks what is easy rather than what is necessary. Giants think in terms of leverage, systems, and outcomes. They ask how efforts multiply, how decisions scale, and how vision survives over time. If you cannot operate at this level, alignment is impossible. Depth of thought comes from disciplined learning. Giants read more than they speak and observe more than they react. They study patterns, failures, and history. This accumulation of insight shapes judgment. Judgment is what separates influence from noise. Small talk fills silence. Strategic conversation creates direction. Giants are comfortable with pauses because they are thinking. They do not rush to speak for attention. They wait to speak with purpose. This restraint signals confidence and control. Small thinking reacts to the moment. Strategic thinking anticipates the future. Giants consider second-order consequences. They understand that every decision creates ripple effects. If you only see the immediate outcome, you are not prepared for high-level collaboration. Outgrowing small thinking also means expanding responsibility. Giants carry weight. They make decisions that affect many people. This requires emotional maturity. Complaints, excuses, and gossip have no place at this level. Accountability is expected, not negotiated. Language reflects mindset. Small thinking uses vague phrases and generalities. Strategic thinking uses precision. Clear language reveals clear thought. Giants listen for clarity because clarity reduces risk. Growth demands discomfort. To think bigger, you must challenge assumptions and question limitations. Giants continuously refine their perspectives. They are not attached to outdated beliefs. Adaptability keeps them relevant. Small talk often centers on people. Strategic discussion centers on ideas, systems, and outcomes. Giants respect those who contribute insight rather than commentary. Insight adds value. Commentary consumes time. Outgrowing small thinking requires solitude. Time alone sharpens thought. It allows reflection, planning, and synthesis. Giants protect this time fiercely because it fuels strategy. Ambition without depth is fragile. Depth without ambition is stagnant. Giants combine both. They pursue bold goals with disciplined thought. This balance creates momentum. To stand with giants, you must elevate how you think, how you speak, and how you listen. You must replace comfort with curiosity and noise with clarity. Giants do not look for followers. They look for equals in thought and action. To stand with giants, you must outgrow small talk and small thinking. Influence is earned through service, insight, and execution. It is not demanded, announced, or claimed through position or title. Real influence grows quietly as trust accumulates and value becomes undeniable. Those who understand power know that authority without contribution is fragile, but contribution sustained over time creates gravity that draws others naturally. Service is the first foundation. Serving does not mean submission or weakness. It means placing effort where it creates the greatest impact. Service at a high level is strategic. It anticipates needs, solves problems before they escalate, and removes obstacles from the path of progress. People trust those who consistently make things easier, clearer, and more effective. Service also reveals intent. Those who serve with discipline are not seeking applause. They are focused on outcomes. This sincerity builds credibility. When people know you are invested in the mission rather than personal recognition, alignment strengthens. Influence grows where motives are clear and consistent. Insight transforms service into leadership. Many people work hard, but few think deeply. Insight comes from observation, experience, and reflection. It allows you to see connections others miss and risks others ignore. When you bring insight, you elevate conversations and decisions. People listen because your perspective adds clarity. Insight requires humility. It comes from listening more than speaking and learning more than teaching. Those who rush to dominate discussions rarely develop insight. Those who study patterns develop foresight. Foresight is a powerful form of influence because it guides action before problems appear. Execution is what validates service and insight. Without execution, ideas remain theoretical. Execution turns intention into impact. It demonstrates reliability. When you consistently deliver, trust becomes instinctive. People stop questioning and start depending on you. Execution also builds momentum. Each completed task reinforces confidence. Confidence accelerates collaboration. Collaboration amplifies results. Influence expands as outcomes compound. Service without insight leads to exhaustion. Insight without execution leads to frustration. Execution without service leads to isolation. Influence requires all three in balance. Together they create a system that sustains respect. Influence is tested under pressure. In difficult moments, service shows commitment, insight shows judgment, and execution shows resilience. Those who remain effective when conditions deteriorate earn lasting trust. Influ. C also grows through consistency. Sporadic contribution creates uncertainty. Consistent contribution creates stability. Stability attracts responsibility. Responsibility expands influence. Those who seek influence for personal gain often lose it quickly. Those who focus on contribution gain it naturally. Influence earned through service, insight, and execution cannot be easily taken away because it is rooted in performance. Influence shapes culture. People model behavior they respect. When service is genuine, insight is sharp, and execution is reliable, standards rise. Others follow not because they are told to, but because they see what works. Influence also demands accountability. When mistakes occur, those with influence address them openly. They correct course and move forward. This transparency strengthens trust. True influence does not chase attention. It attracts it. It does not rely on persuasion alone. It relies on proof. Over time, proof becomes reputation. Influence is earned through service, insight, and execution. Power partnerships demand mental strength, patience, and precision. Strong starts line expend it, and don't heading any ending sentence in 800 word. Power partnerships demand mental strength, patience, and precision. These alliances are not built in moments of excitement or quick agreement, but through sustained pressure, delayed rewards, and uncompromising standards. At the highest levels, partnership is not about comfort or convenience. It is about endurance, clarity, and control. Mental strength is the first requirement. Power environments are volatile. Decisions carry weight, expectations are high, and mistakes are costly. Those without mental resilience become reactive, defensive, or inconsistent. Mental strength allows you to remain composed when stakes rise. It keeps judgment clear when emotions attempt to interfere. This stability builds trust because partners know you will not collapse under pressure. Mental strength also means independence of thought. Powerful partners do not seek constant validation. They can stand by their reasoning even when challenged. They listen openly but decide firmly. This balance of openness and resolve signals confidence without arrogance. It creates respect. Patience is the discipline of long-term alignment. Power partnerships evolve slowly because trust cannot be rushed. Impatience reveals insecurity. Those who push for immediate gain expose short-term thinking. Strategic partners are cautious because they understand the cost of misalignment. Patience shows maturity and foresight. Patience also protects decision quality. It allows time for observation, testing, and adjustment. Rushed partnerships often fail because assumptions go unexamined. Power prefers certainty over speed.